All right, guys, we're here with Jay. What's up, Jay?
What's up, man?
At Handlebar Cyclery. Obviously, today we're talking about lights. It's that time of year. Daylight savings time is over. It gets dark earlier. Winter time's almost upon us. A lot of nighttime riding, so let's talk about them. So obviously the right light for the job is going to be like talking about brightness, the way it blinks, things like that, yeah?
Lumens.
Lumens.
It's all about the lumens.
Luminosities.
So nowadays, almost everything is pretty much LED, whereas, 5, 6, 7 years ago, they were still using halogen, and the crap was expensive. And now you can get these sweet LED lights, and you get sometimes 10 times the amount of light for the money.
Wow. So if you're commuting home from work in the evening, you get off at 5:30, the sun's down, you're going home for a few miles, what would be a decent light to use for that?
So the number one thing is just making sure you're visible no matter what you're doing. That's kind of my rule of thumb. Anytime we sell a bike, we say make sure you get lights, and that can be something crazy bright and high end, but at the minimum make sure you got at least something like this.
So at a minimum, something blinking on the front and back.
Absolutely. Okay. It keeps you obnoxious. I use that word all the time. It's important. Cars need to be able to see you, and the lights make a difference, day or night. I tell people all the time, if it's daytime, still ride with lights. Tuesday
night World Championships at night. Obviously, then you'd want a little bit brighter light on the front to be able to see further down the road.
Something like, I would probably say 500 lumens or higher will give, a pretty good, swath of light. It just also depends on if it's a projector beam or a spread beam, So pay attention to what you're buying, how it throws the light. Also, too, when you're looking at your pretty high-powered lights, 500 to 1,000 lumens, make sure that it has the battery life that you need for how long you're riding.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll ride sometimes with this 800 lumen or this Big Daddy 1250 lumen, and it's got settings all the way from like 250 lumens up, and obviously at 1250 it might last an hour, where at 250 I could run it for 6 hours and run it all night long. So that's a really good point, to pay attention to battery life.
Yeah, and that's pretty huge. A lot of times folks want to buy because they're just thinking, I just want to spend as little as possible. But if you spend more and get a really big light, maybe it's more light than you think you need, you get a lot more run time out of it. And you may find yourself in a situation where you're out longer than you planned, and you can, instead of using 1,000 lumens, you can back it down to 500 and get 2 or 3 times the amount of time, and you still have a ton of light.
Yeah,
Whereas had you bought a 250 lumen light, there's not a whole lot to go down to.
So what about if you're out doing a nighttime trail ride on a mountain bike then? What sort of setup would you need?
So mountain biking is a ton of fun. If you've never done it at night, I highly recommend at least doing it once. It's crazy what it does with your mind, the shadows and everything. It'll play tricks on you. But it actually makes you a better rider because you're able to be, what's the word? You don't expect as much because you don't see as much. So
you have to be a little more reactionary.
You end up going over stuff that you maybe didn't plan to go over, and you're like,
okay.
Cool, I just cleared that and I didn't even plan for it. But anyway, so but with lights at night for mountain biking, you definitely want something on your helmet, and that is going where you're looking.
Yeah, of course.
And then one on the bars for where the bike is going. That way you've got 2 sets of lights, kind of basically covering the bases. People ask about how bright at night a lot, and with as inexpensive as LED lights are nowadays, I would just say buy a minimum of 500 lumens.
You mentioned USB rechargeable. What about that versus changing batteries? I would think USB is more convenient to charge because you can just pop the cap off, plug it into your computer, whatever. Everybody's got one of these, right?
Yeah, so if you look at probably kind of like one of the best test subjects for lights are folks that do like adventure cycling or bike packing, and even nowadays they're using backup battery packs and solar panels to recharge those battery packs and things like that because they're running USB lights. Battery powered lights that are not rechargeable, they're never bright enough, and unfortunately they dim and they die, and when you don't have extra batteries with you, obviously you're out of light. So one really great place that you can check out is mtbr.com, and it's a mountain biking website, but they do a light shootout every year, and that light shootout is very thorough, and they test basically all the lights on the market or all the new ones that have hit the market. and he has awesome pictures of them, like going down a tunnel and in the backyard, so you get you get a full effect of how the beam is thrown, and you get the lumens per dollar ratio, the quality of the light and all of that stuff. So really great article there to check out every year, and it's called The Light Shootout at mtbr.com.
So that MTBR link is in the description below. If you've got any questions about lights, hit me up in the comment section. We'll ask Jay and the crew at Handlebar, and we can get those answered for you. If you want to buy some of these lights, come on down to the shop. They can get you hooked up with that as well. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks, Jay.